Today, Algebra 1, we're going to talk about solving proportions. So, using your listening notebook, let's fill in the blanks here. A proportion is an equation in which two fractions are set equal to each other. We see proportions all the time in science and math, and if you understand the whole idea of equality, that the left-hand side weighs the same as the right-hand side, then you can understand why this key strategy works so nicely. So when you have a proportion set up, you want to cross multiply. We cross multiply and we're going to set the cross products equal to each other. So we're going to quickly work through some examples. So here are two very simple examples. X over 7 is set equal to 4/5. Now first of all, a reminder. There is nothing that I can multiply to 7 or 5, no whole number that I can multiply to 7 or 5 in order to rename 4/5 as something over x over 7. That's why we need the strategy to cross multiply. So once again, noting these two fractions are set equal to each other. So we're going to cross multiply here, and when we cross multiply only over an equal sign. So here goes. X times 5 is 5x. 7 times 4, 28. These are the cross products, and we are setting the cross products equal to each other. So from here, we're going to use the properties of equality. We are going to divide both sides by 5, and we get x equals 28 over 5, which we're going to leave 28 over 5. The answer here is the improper fraction. Next, this one maybe you can see a little bit better, and then we'll prove it with the cross multiplication. 4 times what is 8? Well, we can easily multiply 4 by 2, multiply 3 by 2, and see that x equals 6. So what you learned in upper elementary school and pre-algebra works pretty nicely on that one. But if we use cross multiplication, it's still going to work. Let's check it out. Cross products, 4x equals 24, divide by 4, divide by 4, x equals 6. So we get 6 either way. And either way is perfectly fine for solving that proportion. Now, here we have some algebraic expressions to consider. And we have b minus 8 over 5 equals b plus 3 over 4. When two fractions are set equal to each other, we're going to cross multiply over that equal sign and set the cross products equal to each other. So it's going to look like this. 4 times b minus 8 equals 5 times b plus 3. We need to use the distributive property here in order to simplify and solve. So simplify. 4 times b, 4b. 4 times negative 8, negative 32. 5 times b, 5b. 5 times 3, plus 15. I'm still trying to line up my equal signs here. This turns into an equation that needs to be solved. So I am going to subtract 5b from both sides. And we end up with negative 1b. You can write the negative 1 or don't, but you do need a negative. Minus 32 equals 15 plus 32 plus 32. That's the addition property of equality. So negative b equals 15 plus 32 is 47. Finally, division property of equality, divide both sides by -1. B is negative 47. So when b is negative 47, the equation will be true. Let's keep going. 2c over 11 equals c minus 3 over 4. These are two fractions set equal to each other. The only time that we cross multiply is when two fractions are set equal to each other. So 2c times 4 equals 11 times c minus 3. Yes, I'm utilizing parentheses here to show my multiplication. The distributive property is not necessary on the left because this is a single term times 4, that's 8c. But we do need to use the distributive property on the right. 11 times c is 11c. 11 times -3 is -33. We will subtract 11c from both sides. 8 minus 11 is -3c. Another reminder, I'm lining up my equal signs here. Equals -33. Use the division property of equality. Divide both sides by -3. C is 11. We'll give this one a quick check since I've got a little room here at the bottom. 2 times 11 over 11. Does that equal 11 minus 3 over 4? 2 times 11 is 22 over 11. 11 minus 3 is 8, 8 over 4. 22 over 11 is equal to 2, and 8 over 4 is equal to 2. So it checks. We can check proportions just like we checked equations earlier in this chapter by taking our answer and plugging it back into the original equation using the substitution property. Last problem for this video. We are planning an event. A caterer knows that 5 pounds of pasta salad will serve 14 people. How much pasta salad should be prepared for an event hosting 150 people? So we've got 5 pounds of pasta serves 14 people. So 5 pounds over 14 people. So if we set up the first ratio with pounds over people, then the second ratio must also be set up in that same order, pounds over people. Now, look at the question, because the question tells you where our variable should go. How much pasta salad? So our variable is pasta salad, pounds of pasta salad. So we are going to put our X up on the top because it's X number of pounds of pasta salad is what is missing. For how many people? Well, 150 people. 150 people. Now, we're going to cross multiply. I'm going to rewrite it because if we have pounds over people, all I really need is 5 over 14 equals X over 150. So this is our proportion. It's set up. Remember, a proportion is a fraction set equal to a second fraction. And our key strategy here is to cross multiply. So 5 times 150. So 5 times 15 is 75. 5 times 150 is 750. 14 times x is 14x. So we need to use the division property of equality here, and we need to divide. So it looks like to me we need to do a little bit of long division. I'll do that right up here. So 750 divided by 14. So let's see. 14 times 5 is 70. So here we go. There's 70 with 55 left. Bring down to 0. 14 goes into 50. 14 twice is 28. 14 4 times is 56. So 4 is too many. Let's go 3. That's 42. And 8 left over. Now, think about this for just a moment. If the caterer only prepares by the pound, are we going to ask the caterer for 53 and 8/14 pounds? No. If we want to know how much pasta salad should be prepared, we need to say if x equals 53 and 8/14, we need to ask the caterer for 54 pounds of pasta salad. Because the caterer only prepares whole pounds, not half pounds, not 8/14 of a pound. If we need more than 53, we need to round this one up to 54 pounds of pasta salad. That is how you can use a proportion in order to scale up a catering event in this case. That is solving proportions.